Sun Tzu once said, "Do not try to defeat your enemy, for that is impossible. Instead, put yourself in a position where you cannot lose, and then wait for your enemy to defeat themselves." That's not really relevant to this, I just thought it was an interesting idea. This is Spartan Ops, Episode 2, Artifact, as you can see. This is Chapter 3, Hacksaw, on the map Fortress. Fortress is one of the maps that is based on the campaign spaces. This particular one is from the 3rd level, Forerunner, and it's based around one of the areas that you get to just before the first beam tower. This is my loadout. Going with the DMR because it's amazing, and plasma pistol, jetpack to get me onto this central structure here. There's a lot of rocket launchers and lasers there that's going to help me take out all the elites, and there's also some grunts and jackals as well. Also going to be some phantoms going to have to take out, which is pretty unusual. Got a rocket in there. The shade turret there that I'm just going to destroy, making a beeline for this central structure, making use of my jetpack of course. Now there are 3 of these little substations, all with a gaggle of Covenant around them. So I'm just going to use my height advantage to keep me safe. Can be fairly free with the rockets and stuff, got quite a lot of them. You're not really going to run out unless you're actually missing your shots. Keep them just for the elites of course though. Probably going to be a little bit tricky to get them with plasma pistol otherwise. That guy actually had a concussion rifle, I think. A bit unusual. And after you take out the first group of enemy at each substation, then one of these like supermassive drop pods will come down and drop off a few more for you. These Marines have formed part of Hacksaw Squad, which forms the name of this chapter. You're supposed to save them, but there's really no benefit to doing so, apart from having a couple of people around extra to shoot at the enemies. But they're not very useful. I try to give a couple of them some weapons that are a bit more useful than the DMRs and stuff that they have, but they really don't do very well. So here I am, having a go. Of course, can't swap it out when I've already got a DMR. Completely illogical to like take the ammo or something like that. I mean, it's not like you can't walk around with one weapon in Halo. That's actually possible. But oh well. Getting shot by an elite there on the turret. Almost forgot about him. Could have done some damage with that focus rifle. Sorry, beam rifle. Focus rifle was Halo Reach. But he didn't. Too slow, bro. Also a ghost there. There's also a spare ghost off behind this substation that I'm right near. It's off to the left side of it as I'm looking at it right now. There's also some hunters underneath me. Just 2. So there's no time pressure at all. The Marines are pretty much invincible until you actually get to each substation. So you can always be assured of them being, the enemies being distracted until you are ready to deal with each station in a turn. Don't go running to each substation and activating it and like getting them killed in advance. I mean, there's no point in that. Just take one at a time. It's easy that way. I mean, if there's 4 of you, then you can split up. Because otherwise 4 of you at one substation, you're just going to have no targets. You can also take these guys out from the top structure itself. It's a little bit difficult to get an angle on them though, so I just come down here. Maybe you can use your jetpack. There's the ghost. Gonna use it for a little bit of a barricade. Because they're not very smart at the elites. Sometimes in some of the games and in some of the objects that you place in certain doorways, they can be smart and they can jump over them, or they can actually push them out the way or kick them. Grunts from Halo 3 onwards also sort of jumped on top of boxes and will make their way over them, even if you try to set up some sort of barrier. This ghost in between those pillars with the low ceiling, they can't really do much about it. They come up to it and they get a bit stuck. This is one of those missions where if Spartan Ops actually had a scoring mechanic, then things like having to rescue Marines would come into their own in a huge way. You could offer bonus points for rescuing all of the Marines, and less points for only some of the Marines. But it's a bit of a sort of nowhere side objective as it is. Neither here nor there, brother. Oh yeah, watch out for that wraith. Got a laser, I mean, like, it's no problem. You can steal it. I've done that a couple of times, but there's so little space in this map. It's really difficult to get it around the substations and all the barriers and the rocks. Don't bother, really. So many of your Marines will make their way up to this central structure. Not all of them. Many of them are dead before they really get there. I was forgetting which stage of the mission they actually become destructible here. Phantom incoming. The very occasionally useful plasma grenade. This bit actually gets pretty tricky when you got all the phantoms swarming around you. Oh, see, I didn't quite place it right, so some of them are getting past. And elites with fewer guns. That's not very good. Maybe I'll have a rocket launcher instead. Laser is good against really slow targets, and ones where you can take the cover, let it charge up. Bouncing off that slope there. That's sort of the little AI quirk where they aim for your body rather than the head that they can actually see. So if you've got some cover in front of you that's covering your chest but not your head, they'll try and shoot at you, but it'll hit the cover in front of you. Can exploit that in quite a lot of situations. It's easier to do in the later Halo games, actually. It's not as easy to do in the like Halo 1. Oh, those FRGs are a little bit hard to see on this map, aren't they? In these crates there's also plenty of DMR ammo. Although of course I've got the ammo perk, which gave me a little bit of boost at the start. Not gonna waste a rocket on him, nah. What he thinks he's going to do down there, I don't really know. Spartan Miller says there's only a couple of Covenant remaining. As you can see from the video, not over yet, Miller. So I'm just going to take my time, get my ammo back up. If you wanted, you could be cool and do assassinations on these guys as they're running at you. This is actually fairly tough, this later section of this episode. Oh, what? There's still one left. Don't tell me to fall back yet. There we go. I'm going to move this ghost a little bit. You know, putting myself in a position where I can't lose. Good book is The Art of War. Originally written in Chinese. I can't read Chinese, of course. Especially not ancient Chinese. Got a translation. Some interesting things to think about. Not all of it's 100% applicable today. Some of it's still applicable to even video games and stuff. So turrets are priority alpha. Take them out. They also have some grunt gunners on the sides, or some of them might be elites, and the lasers are better for that. Hi guys, bye. Fortunately, I've destroyed my ghost now and my shield, but just didn't want them coming at me at the same time as the phantoms still being fully operational. Deal with one at a time, you know. So I think that's most of the infantry. Very quickly darting between cover. Now these guys actually recharge as well, so you're gonna have to concentrate on one. If you keep swapping between them, they're just gonna recharge and it's gonna take you forever. Numero uno. Rockets aren't very effective. I just thought might as well. This crate actually recharges fairly regularly as well. This one right next to me. So that means you don't have to go all the way up to the top. Oh, look at that! Ridiculous. Woo! Now we're done, right?
That's all of the Phantoms, Commander. Told you it wasn't a fair fight.
Lots of ammo. Still not out.
This was a search and rescue mission. I think you forgot the rescue bit.
Oh, now Crimson leader Sarah Palmer is berating me for not rescuing Hacksaw Squad when she spent one Spartan to do that job. To rescue what? Like 9 Marines? And she expects one Spartan to do that. I know I'm hyper lethal and everything, but you know, I'm not that good. You can actually get on the turrets of that Pelican as well. Time 11 minutes 40. One of the shorter ones. As I've said before, I think they get longer throughout the series. I hope you had fun. Give it a go. See how well you do. I'll be seeing you in the next episode. Sorry, next chapter. And that is Pelican Down on Sniper Alley. See you then.